Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to the center of Moscow, and welcome to a new video. I thought today I'd show you a Russian typical 7-Eleven type supermarket. Now it's actually got the word supermarket on the door, but it's not very big, but I thought we'd go check it out together. Let's go! If you're wondering how close we are to the center of Moscow, geographically, if we walk 2 kilometers in this direction, we'll be at the Kremlin and Red Square, and it's actually very close and easy to get there. Thought I'd just show you some of the buildings right here nearby. Some very differing styles of architecture when you come into the center of Moscow, and different buildings from slightly different eras. There's also buildings that are newly built, but they're built with an old style look to them that fits in with the center of Moscow. And there's one of the main roads here where I've come to, and this is where we want to go and see Eurospar. And it actually says supermarket as well, but for me this is not a supermarket size, but it's definitely got it on the building on the outside. And it's actually in the lower level of this very interesting looking Soviet style apartment building. So you could actually live upstairs. I think also there's some offices in the back of this building as well. It's currently scooter season here, so scooters are dotted everywhere throughout Moscow. I did notice next door there's a ramen place, and I'm a little bit tempted to go there for some lunch after this video. We want to go in and see the Eurospar. Let's go and check it out. Looks like the pigeon wants to come with me as well. One of the reasons I am calling this a 7-Eleven style store is because it really is open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Actually an hour later on the weekends. But very typically in Russia and in Moscow, shops are open from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. or 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. So this is actually the true 7-Eleven store here in Moscow. They've got a lot of baskets here, and we're going to see the shop isn't particularly big inside. All of the legal information of the store, even if we want to see who the store manager is. Walking on inside, there's quite a lot to see in here and take in when you first walk inside. Now, I'm pretty sure most people know this store and they shop here frequently. So the cash register on the left-hand side. There's a really nice hot food section here in the middle here as well. We'll look at that closer in a minute. And right in the front, have a look what greets us. Beautiful strawberries. And lots of types of strawberries as well. As we're coming into summer now, berry season is a big deal in Russia. There's also some other fresh fruits. In the center of Moscow, I can get dragon fruit and mangoes, and I think also papaya as well. So many tropical fruits in a cold and cloudy Moscow day. Also the dairy over here. So what we'll do, we'll have a bit of a lap around and we'll go check it out. Apples and bananas right at the front. Now the way this store's set up is really a true 7-Eleven convenience store. This is, for me, not exactly a supermarket. It's more of a grab-and-go style shop where you find what you want, pay and leave. You know, it's not really grab a basket and walk around. Lots of candy and chewing gums. And then the very normal fruit and vegetable offering in a lot of smaller supermarkets. So even in a 7-Eleven, you can get literally anything you like, even pineapples in Moscow in spring. And then over here, all of the different juices and drinks. Now, the one thing with Eurospar, they'll have a lot more in-house branded drinks as well. So you'll see here the tonic water and then bubblegum flavored drinks, lemon lime. So they do make quite a lot of in-house products. Also the different juices. These are all very typical Russian type juices, but made with the Spar branding on them. So they're actually then benefiting from producing their own products for their own sale. And then over here, more drinks. And the one thing also with this store versus a lot of other supermarkets, they've got a lot of refrigerated products. Most people in Russia generally don't particularly like cold refrigerated drinks, because with the colder weather, you don't need a cold drink on top of that. All of the energy drinks first, and then all of the very normal drinks and sodas, and then the very large selection of waters. A lot of the usual brands, and then also the Spa branded bottle as well. You're looking at right about 50 cents for the standard bottle of water. And then there's even a freezer section. Not too many things in there. I think just enough things that you can take it home and have dinner tonight, and some snacks. This is really designed as a takeaway style supermarket. But if you live in the buildings immediately nearby, you've got every chance to come here and grab something that you want particularly. Nice ice creams, and these are all Spa packaged ice creams as well. So more than likely they're using a domestic producer for them and then having them packaged for the brand of the supermarket. There's lots of nuts, seeds, and dried fruits. And this is where it gets a little bit smaller to walk around in the store. Also a coffee and tea section on this side. Still plenty of choices of coffee and teas, even for such a small store. And then biscuits and some chocolate. Oreos are still in Russia. We don't have to worry that they've not left. Milky Ways here. And then all of the classic Russian chocolate bars, which some of them are actually international brands, but they're definitely available here in Russia. Now we see this convenience store size shop come into play, where it's just a little bit harder to walk around this back section. They got bread right there, and then they've got all the essential personal care items. Again, the Spa branding even on personal items, if you just need something for the house. Again, if you live immediately right here, it's very easy to grab something and go right home, you know, just literally the next building or so. And then a lot of people would shop here who probably live immediately or work immediately in this area. Let's have a look. They've even got some healthy chocolate or healthy food options as well. And everything is what you would see in a supermarket, but just condensed down all the way from Louisiana. They've got Tabasco right there. Yeah, it's a little bit high priced, but the fact you can get American Tabasco sauce in a Moscow supermarket is quite interesting for me, that, you know, you can see things that, you know, I recognize, but maybe the next person would miss. Lots of different types of hams and seafood. And a lot of the packaging is smaller packaging too, so it's more convenience size packaging, where you might want to buy something just for lunch or just for dinner. Lots of dairy products, lots of yogurts, very much the things you would see in a full-size typical supermarket, but it's in a 7-Eleven style convenience store. Again, all of the nice fruit. Is this a grapefruit, this larger one? I think it might be a grapefruit. Let me know. Look at the size of those grapes right there. They're huge. Very big grapes as well. And then this is the start of some of the hot food. Now these are actually already packaged just to grab and go. So there's actually chicken, pork, beef, and then you're going to see this very nice hot food takeaway section. Now the way they actually do this, it's all by weight. So it's generally by 100 gram pricing, and then they put them in different size containers for you. It's very simple. Again, if you're just buying it as a lunch, you can even get the salt right here and all the basic needs if you don't have it. So we've got some nice things ready for lunch. I'm just here just before lunchtime, so everything's pretty much ready for the lunchtime rush. That's why everything looks so beautiful and manicured. I didn't really have a choice of what time I was getting here. I'm here in the city with my wife today, so I've left her to do her thing, and I thought I'd come for a bit of a walk around. They've actually got a soup station as well, so there's actually some prepared already. Looks like a chicken noodle soup, and maybe this is a borscht soup, I think. So you can actually make your own as well, or just put it into a container if you don't want to take the prepaid ones. And then you're good. They've even got some martinis. I love this in Russia, how they put these conveniently next to some of the other ready foods. In this case, they've got them near cakes. So you're going to buy a cake and some drinks to maybe celebrate a birthday or a party of some kind. Lots of salads. I've actually had the Caesar salad at Spa many times before. It's very delicious. So these are all priced by 100-gram weight. So you can get as much or as little as you like. They don't, force you to fill up a whole container if you just want a small amount. Then there's some zero alcohol beer here, and actually normal beer as well mixed together. So again, it's all convenience setup. So you can actually just grab and go, take what you want. Lots of Western branded beer in the fridge here also. Being that Eurospar is originally a Dutch company, there's a lot of influence with the style of the shop and the products that are offered that are international products versus having everything truly Russian branded. Tuborg right here, I think everybody might know that around the world. And they've got some nice cakes and pastries. And actually what I had when I got here earlier, I had a couple of slices of pizza. And these are only 99 rubles for a slice of pizza, pretty much $1 for a slice of pizza. And depending on what time when you'd come in here, you'd either get a slice and have it reheated, or the lady might be preparing them right in the store for you when you're here. More salads. There is very much a healthy element to a lot of the food in these convenience stores. People still want to eat normal, healthy food. And it's not necessarily all fried and oily foods. Nice Olivia salad right there. In the back, the very well-known herring under a fur coat. And then the other thing that my wife and I like from here is sushi. And this is by weight also. Generally, you know how many pieces makes up the price that you're going to pay, so you get a couple of everything. And then, how convenient, right above here, we've got some brandy and whiskey. And this is pretty cool too. They've actually got the country of origin on the flags. So they've actually got some Italian wine right here by the sushi. And then there's some blended Scotch whiskey with a French flag on. How is there French Scottish whiskey in here? I'm always curious. Most of the time that's because of the parallel country it was imported through that they do that. And it makes confusion for people like me who understand where things are from. But for the next person, it's not really a big deal. These are the cooked and heated sushi. Now they actually are a lot tastier than they look in the fridge here, or in the bain-marie, is that the right word? And there is some fried food. So yes, Russians do eat chicken nuggets. Russians do eat French fries. Are we still calling them French fries in Russia? Are we calling them freedom fries? Someone let me know in the comments which is the right name for French fries in Russia. There's also more condiments on top here, so if you want to get something to snack on. And I thought I'd show you the selection behind the register. There's a few people checking out for now, so literally I think lots of parties going on today because I see lots of people coming in and grabbing the cups, the drinks and the snacks to make a party. I need to follow them and see where they're going. There's also a fridge with ready-made sushi as well, and you can grab it in a package. Whenever I've come to these stores, I always get the one that's by weight. That way I can choose which one I like. Some nice fresh sandwiches also. And there's a coffee station. Now, pretty much you make your own coffee, then you just take it to the counter and pay for it. It's nice and easy when you want to come into this sort of store. Some cookies and biscuits. And then we come around then to the most important section, Lay's chips. My wife's favorite chocolate, Raffaello. If I'm ever in trouble, bring a box of Raffaello home and everything gets smoothed away. And then there's champagne and wine section. And then again, they've got the flags right here. So you can see Italian flag, Spanish flag. This is a test of my geography skills. Someone will have to tell me. This one here, I don't know this country. I feel very bad, I don't know them. Of course, the vodka section has to be all Russian flags. Nothing but Russian flags on the vodka section. No Australian wine. That's a bit of a disappointment, but it's okay. And then there's another small grab-and-go ice cream fridge. And then, of course, tobacco is something that's sold in Russia in almost all stores, but they're meant to have it in closed containers, so you'll see the drawers here are closed. And then, tell me in the world, when you go to a 7-Eleven, is there little bottles of vodka right on the top of the counter, or maybe gin, that you can just grab? What would you rather have? Coffee or some vodka? I think this might be only in Russia that they do it like this. It's just such an interesting mix of ways of displaying things. And then they have a small alcohol section, but it's all behind the counter. So pretty much one of anything. I'm curious how many people would buy alcohol here. There is so many standalone alcohol shops in Russia and wine shops that maybe you wouldn't typically come here. Actually, have a look down there, the green bottle absinthe, and it's actually legal here in Russia, but I think in most countries they have some nice rums here as well. Plantation rum is very well known. It's actually got French flags on it because it's a French company that produce the rum in France from Caribbean-based distilleries. So they produce the rum in the Caribbean, import it back to France, and then bottle and then distribute it from there. It's a really interesting story, Plantation. They've won a lot of awards for their rums. And then the register. As I slowly make my way out of the shop, I really want everybody watching this video to let me know in the comments, is your local 7-Eleven like this? Is this how it looks? Is this how the store is? The selection, you know, the way they've got everything displayed. Please let me know in the comments if this is how your local shop looks. Do they have bottles of brandy right there by the sushi? Do they have the vodka instead of chewing gum at the counter? Now they do call this a supermarket when you read the sign outside, but definitely for me this is a convenience store, and they do use the word loosely quite a lot in Russia. Have a look at the fruits again. One more look at these strawberries as we come very quickly into strawberry season here in Russia. A lot of people always mention to me in videos that it's very quiet and there's no shoppers and there's no people inside. And exactly as I'm just finishing the last part of the video, there's a line now 10 or 12 deep at the register to check out. So I think perhaps lunchtime has definitely struck here in the center of Moscow. As I walk on out from Eurospar and I leave the lunchtime crowd behind, I really hope you've enjoyed this video of a Russian 7-Eleven here in the center of Moscow. Now this actually isn't Russian owned. This is actually a Dutch company that has shops or locations all over the world. They've got 13,000 shops throughout the world. Very interesting. And this company, in some of the press releases recently, have said that they're wanting to leave Russia, but 2 years later, quite clearly they're here, they're open, and there is no changes or effects on the store. So perhaps they're not going anywhere. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That'll be really nice. Let me know in the comments if this is similar to a 7-Eleven where you live. How close is it to a shop that you would go to? Maybe you have a 7-Eleven or a Spar where you live as well. Let me know. If you want to join me on Telegram, there's a link right here. You can chat to me pretty much any time of the day and night. And if you want to watch another video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the full-size Eurospar that they've got in Moscow, just to make a comparison of what the actual supermarket looks like. That'll be coming up right now. Thanks everybody. I'm off on another adventure. Bye.